Mhm. What's good, y'all? I appreciate you all jumping in. And the thing I wanted to briefly discuss is just the legacy of Different Strokes. Anybody out there who is getting to know my channel, you're gonna clearly get to know that I'm a fan of nostalgia situations in terms of music and sitcoms and movies and stuff like that. Like to me, I think it's inevitable that we're here where we are right now. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. And I'll be on here briefly just so I can be able to discuss these things with different strokes. But I just wanted to get everybody in here, settled in, ready to discuss what we need to discuss and have comments about it and conversations and things like that that takes place because I think it's important to remember where we came from in terms of history. And we have a lot of it based on different things that people have accomplished throughout careers and things like that, and to remember the people that is no longer here as well. So those who are getting to know me, just feel free to subscribe and hit the notifications button, um, and tap in and just appreciate legacies and things like that that we have that we're running through in regards to just our history. And I'm gonna, clearly, if we talking different strokes, I'm gonna throw in the the music that you heard. Uh, I just feel like we just have to share and we have to talk about it. So, different strokes meant a hell of a lot to me over a hell of amount of years and things like that too. So, as memorable as these moments are when you look at history, Different Strokes was definitely one of those situation comedies that was different. And shout out to the creative team who was a part of this history in regards to it as well. Like Different Strokes originally aired on NBC from November 3rd, 1978 to March 7th, 1986, moving later to ABC for the final season. The series was created by Jeff Harris and Bernie Kukoff, and it became a cultural touchstone of the late 70s and 80s for the blend of comedy, heartfelt moments, and socially conscious storytelling. So I think we all know that uh, the stories beyond Different Strokes was not just two black boys being adopted by a white family, single father at the time and a teenage daughter with a housekeeper. That drew in a lot of people's attention because a lot of people loved Gary Coleman and Todd Burgess, young stars, in my opinion, who not only elevated television history but should be rewarded. The late Gary Coleman, he was a ball of fire, and the world knew it. Um, so many different things I could say about Gary Coleman that matters or that meant so much to TV history and everything else that comes with it. But Gary Coleman is a fucking icon, and people should definitely respect his skills that and remember that man. And Todd Bridges as well. Like Todd Bridges before or during Different Strokes was still an integral part of television and things of that nature, and his acting skills um was everything. Still is everything as far as people going back to remember just some of the things that he's done in television and things like that and should be respected. So Todd Bridges will always have my undying support and respect in regards to just how he survived a lot of different things that was going on throughout his career and things like that too as he grew up and all that stuff. So but everybody knows Different Strokes, followed uh Philip Drummond, aka Conrad Bain, a wealthy white widower living in a luxurious New York City apartment, adopts two boys, Willis and Arnold, after the death of their mother, who was a housekeeper. The boys moved in. they had the clear living together for the first time conflict type things, but you also got to go deep into like a lot of what went on throughout the first season was I think you had so many different people understanding that you know what these people are just they needed to fill each other out, like you know there was a clear case of that in so many different phases throughout the first season. It was a series of experimentations when it comes to, but I think Conrad Bain, aka Philip Drummond, worked his ass off to earn the love and respect of not just Wilson Arnold, but Gary Coleman and Todd Bridges. I think anytime you take an opportunity to kind of figure out exactly um, what route an idea is going to have. You never know what's going to happen until seasons pop off. So, you know, this season, you know, first season to me, it was memorable in a sense because, you know, Willis was the main one who was struggling with his emotions about moving into a place like that, dealing with a guy like him, dealing with the loss of, you know, their mom. And her request was to uh, take on the boys that she gave to Philip Drummond and things like that too. So it was a lot of fun to be able to see that. And I always tell people if you didn't get a chance to see it live, you just missed out on some fun shit. Like I just really and truly feel that from the bottom of my heart. Like I just think um people don't really understand the impact that Different Strokes had on culture, and the impact on legacy as well. The show was groundbreaking. How it addressed serious topics like racism, child abuse, drug use, kidnapping, while maintaining a lighthearted, humorous tone. Like, um, Gary Coleman, as I mentioned, clear breakout star, but you have to give credit to Todd Bridges, Conrad Bain, as I mentioned, the late Dana Plato. I would say this on radio stations that I've shows that I've had or whatnot. Dana Plato was fucking beautiful. She was beautiful. Um, Charlotte Ray, the late Charlotte Ray, aka Miss Garrett, one season, and then she spun off into Facts of Life, which was a groundbreaking show as well. And I just think overall we have to acknowledge um, we just have to acknowledge the greatness that Different Strokes was for all of us, really. And I think it's just important that we just really recognize just the chemistry that these people had together on screen. Um, Made it believable, made it work. And I know it's not just the actors and you know the writers, you know the set coordinators, that design people, whatever. Like they all played into a role that made Different Strokes very successful. Um, and I think as it all evolved into more, kids got older, things like that too. Like I always felt like you know there's other stories that needed to be in. So you know it made sense that Philip Drummond, being a successful bachelor for so long, had to get married, which he did. Now they flip flopped a couple of Mrs. Drummonds towards the tail end or whatnot. Um, and Danny, who played Sam, was great. It was needed. It was necessary. You could tell the kids were getting older, so you know it wasn't just it was just a lot of things that I felt like towards multiple seasons as they continued to grow up, that we should have paid more attention to in regards to the seasons. But looking at it as a you know retrospective as we look back, I think the first like two or three seasons was impactful. Like it was really um, dead on serious in regards to taking them as a very powerhouse sitcom in competition with a lot of other sitcoms throughout the course of their run. But I just really and truly feel like it was very important for this idea, this thing to become successful because it integrated a lot of racial divide. Like, you know, you get a lot of mixed marriages and you get a lot of different people who have deep and rooted relationships of the opposite color because of shows like this. It was very lighthearted. It was very you know, it meant a lot to me to be able to see certain things like that just on account of it was just a very good show to um witness growth between actors and people. And I love that you had a situation like this. Now, we all have Webster in a sense like that later on, or, throughout or during or something like that. But, this was different. This was different. This was different mainly because, deeper than what you talk about Willis stuff and the catchphrases or whatever, because back then catchphrases was dynamite in a lot of ways, right? So it was different in a lot of ways when it came to it. But I think people tend to forget that um these people who are no longer here, you got to think about it. Like, we don't have Conrad anymore. We don't have Gary Coleman. We don't have Dana Plato. We don't have Charlotte Ray. Um, Todd Bridges is the last man standing, but then again, he's not the last man standing. He has all of us to hold him down in terms of paying it forward and giving that man his flowers for the work that he created and gave us a ton of memories. Um, no, I know yesterday was a heavy moment with the passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner. We grew up watching Theo. We grew up watching Willis Jackson on Diff'rent Strokes as well. And we have Todd Bridges here um to celebrate. So please do that. Like, I really and truly go find him, reach out to him, tell him Nexxlegacy was doing a retrospective real quick and just say, hey, you know what? I started thinking about the work that you did. Todd Bridges, Little House on the Prairie, like a lot of shit that he did was just impactful, y'all. Like, um, I have favorites as far as Diff'rent Strokes. I mean, I love the fact that one of the episodes, or what was it, two-parter, I believe, when they were getting some money from the bank and they were held hostage or whatnot. And Arnold stuck his little hands in the night drop box and gave the police the keys and things like that or whatnot. That was cool. Integrating Janet Jackson in there as a love interest for Willis, aka Charlene and Willis, was fun to see as well because we got a chance to see a maturing Janet Jackson evolve and become, something special. But we already knew that was going to happen. She just carried herself on stage tremendously at a young age. She just had it. Like, we all knew that. Um, Dana Plato. I used to talk about Dana Plato extensively throughout my stations on air, and I always feel like Dana Plato. I just feel like we should have all rallied around people that we love and appreciate because some people got to find their way or do certain things to figure out life and things of that nature. And I just feel like we missed the boat on Dana. She, like I mentioned, she was very beautiful, you know, actress, and I just felt like she handled herself with the boys, and just her acting skills was very, very good. She reminded me a lot of Aaron from Happy Days, who played Joni. Joni was great in what she did and what she did for Happy Days or whatnot. She was a very important piece. And I just feel like people forgot. Like, you forget about Dana Plato, you forget about Aaron. And to me, it's just, I always feel like it's always important for us to just remember folks, right? Like, it's not hard to do when you think about it. And Charlotte Ray, like, for her to handle Miss Garrett being the first housekeeper, and to her to be just as great on the spinoff. Facts of Life was very, very good as well, and she made it work. Conrad Bain deserves a lot of credit, um, and he was a great actor in his own right with a lot of history, behind him clearly. Um, but it all just goes back to, in my opinion, just the chemistry that everybody had during that run. I just feel like we should celebrate it more. I think there's not enough opportunities that we can go back and look at old sitcoms and just be like, you know what? Let me reach out to this man. Let me reach out to Todd Bridges. Let me thank that guy. Let me remember the moments that we had in regards to, just things that just made me smile or whatever throughout the course of watching television and situation comedies over my lifetime. So, as much as I want to, share other memories. I need you all to just like tap in on the comments and just let us know what you think. Um, and just celebrate with me as we continue to just push nostalgia memories through Next Legacy and honoring of great ones. But also, if you aspire to be great and have the creativity that a lot of these people had, please just do that and don't be copycats or just you know you can't recycle everything. That's why you can't. I would be pissed if they was to ever try to recycle different strokes. Like I would have a problem with that. I feel like you would have a problem with that. I feel like we all would have fucking issues if we just saw that and was just like, no, we can never capture that magic ever again. So leave these nostalgia driven, creative ideas in the memory banks as it should and try not to do it. You can only pull off what you can pull off, but it'll never be right, especially if the situation was right. So that's all I'm gonna say to you people out here today. Next week I'll do family ties. I'll talk about that long running sitcom as well. And the fact that I always feel like that sitcom don't get enough love in my opinion. So we'll talk about that on the flip side next week. But I appreciate y'all just coming in as I briefly discussed this, and I just wanted to put it out there from me to you all. Just comment, give us some different strokes memories, give us some favorable things that you have taken away from all the people, and um, get props up top to the ones that's not here. I mean, Todd Bridges is still here, but I need y'all to go hit him up and show your appreciation towards him. Follow him on social media or whatnot, and just remember the legacy of Dana Plato, Conrad Bain, Gary Coleman, Charlotte Ray, and anybody who we lost throughout the run of different strokes or whatnot. Just go back and pay attention, look at sitcoms, and have a conversation. That's all I ask. You do that, doesn't harm anybody, and it's free. So go ahead, hit the notifications button, subscribe clearly. Go tell people this is what Next Legacy does. Make sure you go ahead and download the free radio station app that is available on your iPhones and tablets and Google Play and Android devices and things like that. And just continue to just make strong, thought-provoking community content that is for the people. So that's all I do here. So Charles Madison on behalf of Next Legacy, I appreciate y'all. Until the next time,